shit, this camera. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Still Talking Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Smith. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm your host. With me, as always, my co-host, Max Harris and Brenner Smith.
Hey, what's happening?
Today, we got a special guest with us in the studio, my guys. We got the heavyweight champ.
Shout out.
Avery, These Hands Wilson.
These hands.
What's up? What's up?
Such a good name. Where'd
Got so excited.
These Hands. Actually, one of my sponsors that his name's Mad Tatter. He does all my tattoos. He actually had like a studio and stuff. They actually wrote me a song, so it's on YouTube. Y'all should go check it out. These Hands by Mad Tatter.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah,
That's a great name too, Mad Tatter.
Mad Tatter.
And he looks just like us. He's got a big red beard, and like he looks like us. He wears snapbacks. Yeah. He wears hats like we do.
Snapbacks.
I mean,
snapbacks and beards, man. We're coming out with a song pretty soon.
Dude, and his tattoos are
sick. Man, just real quick. 6 foot tall, 72-inch reach. Number 1 in Arkansas. Number 4 in the Southeast region. 4-0. Phenomenal stat sheet. Absolutely. All right, my guy. First off, tell us where you're from.
I'm from. Originally, I was born in Searcy, Arkansas. I was raised around Rosebud and BB. Eventually, I went to Cabot around middle school. Started a high school in Cabot. Then I moved around. I moved to Atlanta, lived there for a couple years, and then came back to Arkansas about 18.
Okay. So, what do you do for work? Like, tell everybody what you do. Like, you know.
I'm actually a managing partner at a Sonic. So it's the one in Cabot, off of 321. So y'all come see me anytime.
Hell yeah. Okay. Where are you training out
of? Train out of BB, Arkansas at 501 Fight Club under Master Webb.
All right. All right. So tell us about your last fight.
My last fight was versus Tory Lemons. He came in a little bit overweight, so they asked me. I was like, "Do you want to still fight him?"
20 pounds.
I was like, hell yeah, I want to fight him. You know what I mean?
Isn't he from Hot Springs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's from Hot Springs.
And so with in the amateur league, that just, I mean, how do they? It's just literally they just ask you, "Are you okay with that?" and then that's it.
Well, I mean, if they're over by so much weight, it's like they're like, okay, well this is clearly too much weight.
Yeah.
But so they come to me, we're heavyweights, so it's okay. 20 pounds is like nothing to us. You we lose it or gain it.
That's like water weight. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. So, basically they come to me, they're like, all right, look, it's no longer going to be a title fight because he did not make weight, so it would just be a regular 3-round fight. So I'm like, hell yeah. I came here to fight. I trained.
Yeah, you're not going to walk away from it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right on. Respect.
All my sponsors helped out with money to pay for my fight camp to go to Jackson Wink, so, I'm not going to, kick back on that. I'm going to fight whoever.
Yeah.
Right on.
I respect that.
One of the craziest things that I saw was that you had 3 TKO punches, 3 TKOs by punches, 2 in the first round, and 1. It was 2 in the first round, and then 1 submission by a rear naked choke.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you had the second round knockout too.
Tory,
second round drop against Tory. So it's like the craziest shit that I saw was that you were throwing heavy punches and you were landing them. Like the guys were swinging wild and you were just ducking and calculating, just throwing the right ones. I was pretty impressed because I thought 72 was a little bit small, a shorter reach, but it's really not. I mean, you don't have short arms. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm used to like John Jones. He has like an 86.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
84.
Some guys have like freakishly long arms, but
and like when someone's coming at you like that, and because I mean he's right. You land blows. I mean, are you looking for? I mean, what's kind of the tail? You know what I mean? You know what I'm asking? Like, what's kind of the tail for you're like, okay, because they're swinging wildly, and you're able to kind of come out of it and still. I mean, are you looking at tails that they have? Can you kind of tell that they're just going random, and you're just gonna I'm just gonna duck?
No, it's every single day I work my head movement. With my striking coach. I mean, since I started fighting and started training, that was like the main thing that I always focused on. Because, I like to, follow like Mike Tyson. He's always working his angles, moving. Yeah. And, it's very hard to hit a moving target versus a stationary target that's just standing there. So, of course, if you work your head movement, you're going to be able to see other things. Like if someone's moving their shoulder, flinching their shoulder, they're about to throw that jab or they're about to throw that overhand. Mm-hmm. If you see somebody load up, you know, there's several different tells, you know, and you just gain that from experience.
Okay.
That's a really good answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's what I was talking about. We were talking about
I
it.
feel like that's the majority of the sport.
Yeah. At
I mean,
PF4, you
yeah.
can tell a lot of guys didn't have that cage experience because
Yeah.
they had never been. You know what I mean? You can spar with somebody.
Yeah.
Well, it's that's a whole different. You know what I mean? Tell us about your
And-
first fight. How'd your first fight go?
Well, actually, you know, the way it happened was, so I started training at this little boxing gym, and the sparring coach was like, "Hey, let's spar." He was also a heavyweight MMA fighter, and he was like, "So let's spar." And then basically, I knocked him out in like the first 10 seconds of us sparring. And then he was like, "Oh, I gotta get this dude an MMA fight." So
Yeah.
He was like, "Holy
he hits up Josh Hudson, the Pyramid promoter, and he's like, "Dude, look, this guy has not been training much, but he is gonna be a big guy in MMA. So let's get him in." You know, and we're talking about almost 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I got in there, and I heard the dude was a purple belt. You know, I heard he was very, very good with jiu-jitsu and, you know, a very good grappler. So, of course, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to hit this dude as hard as I can, you know, that way he doesn't try to take it to the ground or something like that. I just know I got to get that stoppage. So, you know, the big thing that I did was, you know, focus on my boxing and making sure that, you know, I knew I had enough ground and enough wrestling from high school and stuff like that I was going to be able to sprawl on him and keep him off me. So it was all about getting that knockout, and I got it. I think it was about 48 seconds, something like that.
God.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw the
Go in with a game plan.
fight where we dropped that Shane kid, man, and it was.
Yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah.
Oh, was that it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
That uppercut.
Dude,
He could take a punch, man.
That kid
Yeah.
got dropped, and I tell you, when he got dropped, and then he was like hopped back up and was like, no. You
Yeah.
can tell he was like, man, he was, and the ref was like, no,
No.
bro.
Yeah,
you
it
got
happened. Yeah, no, it happened, bro.
The ref was like, you came off your feet. There, no.
So, how many fights in until you got your title shot?
It was actually my second. I was 2-0 when they offered me the title shot. I was set up with a contender fight versus Scotty Stober, but he pulled out the day before. I think it was due to a knee injury, something like that. You know how things happen.
Yeah.
So they ultimately, I was like, Josh, you know, he pulled out. So I mean, go ahead. He looked for somebody to try to fight me, but nobody would step up. I mean, which I don't blame him. You know, on a day's notice, you know, you need a little bit of a time.
Yeah,
You know?
time to train and get ready for the fight.
Yeah, so the main thing was I was like, okay, so that he backed out, so let me go ahead and get this title shot. So we went ahead and ran it, and you know, I won.
Hell yeah.
Who was that
Hell yeah.
against?
That was against Osha Johnson. He was the guy that had the belt. So
Hell yeah.
yeah,
And then after that, you fought Tori.
yeah, and after
Okay.
that I fought Tori.
Okay.
Man, yeah, he came in 280, right? He came in 20 over.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I cannot remember what he came in at.
But he was over.
Yeah, it was definitely over.
Is that I mean, and does that happen a lot to you? Obviously. They
No,
come in
no,
over.
that was actually the first time that has ever happened.
Okay.
Somebody came over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I mean, it's whatever, you know. It happens sometimes.
They were like, it's only going to be 3. He said, I only need 1. You got him in the
Yeah.
first minute of the second round. He was like, I haven't even seen 2 yet, so
We're good.
bring it. Fucking A. So you got 2 kids?
Yes, I do. I got 2
Tell us-
kids.
Tell us about your kids.
I have a little girl. She's about to be 5 years old. Her
Shout
name is Harmony Grace Wilson. She's, you know, my pride and joy. She asks me all the time, Daddy, I want to come train with you.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you know,
so nice.
and then
That's awesome.
my son, he just turned 3 years old. His name is Fender Hayes Wilson.
Say the first name again.
Fender, as
Fender.
like the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
he's awesome too. He runs around just like punching everything, punching everybody. And I got this speed bag in my room that I hit every day. And my son, I'll lower it down for him. And, you know, he just every time lift me up, wanting to hit it, you know. So, and it feels good to see my kids involved with it
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
it is.
Dude, how does it feel to knock someone out? I didn't write this
Yeah.
down. I just want to know what it feels
Yeah.
like to
Like-
punch someone and they come off. I've hit
And
people.
you know that there's
Listen.
no repercussions, nothing like that. There's no law coming. It's just like,
Like, dude,
go ahead and knock that motherfucker out.
the thing is like, I'm not gonna go too far into details on the story, but you know, a few people know what I'm talking about. You know, when y'all watch this interview, y'all are gonna be like, oh, I know what he's talking about. You know, those few select people. The first time that I ever knocked somebody out in my life, I just like, it was in the middle of the street. This dude had a baseball bat, and I was just like, I hit him as hard as I could, one punch, dude, and he just like folded up in the ditch.
Shit.
His buddies were like dragging him off, like, "Oh my god, zombie!"
Leave the bat. Leave the bat.
Dude, I felt like I had just hit a home run at the, at the the World Series. So
You just filled it right in the sweet spot.
yeah,
huh?
dude, and like I just turned around, I'm like, okay, I'm going home now. Like,
Yeah.
I got home, my adrenaline was pumping so much, and that's the thing, like. You know,
I'm gonna let the other ones live.
Exactly.
They can go.
When
You
you're
always leave
tell
the
your
weakest.
friends,
Yeah, tell your friends, motherfucker.
when you're in that in that cage and you lock that door, like, to be honest, it's crazy that I don't think about anything. It's like when I'm looking at this guy, I'm just like, look, you're in my way. I'm gonna have to take you out, and no matter what's stopping me, like, I do not give up. I keep pushing. I'm persistent. You know, I may get tired and I may get winded, but I'm going to keep going. There's nothing that's going to stop me. Like, you're going to have to hit me and hit me and hit me and just, but I'll never will quit. I promise you that. So, that's just a big thing with me. So,
Hell yeah.
That's one thing I will say though is,
It's the only way you can be, really.
one of the words used the most when I was doing like research on you was like how much passion, how much heart you have, and how much like drive and like determination that you have. You know, how you're like super driven, and then like it doesn't really matter what you're trying to do. Like you're going for the win.
definitely.
You're the dog in the fight. You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
Anything in life, too, man. Just like, I'm always driven, whether it be about my kids, my job, my career, anything, my friends. If I'm driven about something, I can guarantee you I'm going to put 100% of my effort into it, and I'm going to chase it.
Absolutely, dude.
Hell yeah.
And we admire that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Commendable.
It's one of those things like we've met people that they've won fights and they're really trained and but like there's a difference between really trained fighters and there's like a fighter. You're like a junkyard dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like that's like the best definition, I guess. It's like, dude, you just go out there and you just whoop somebody's ass. Like that's just
Shit. I mean, that's what I have to do. That's what I have
bell
to do.
bell. And it's awesome to watch. Like I said, I sit in here and I was like, oh, so we got the big screen up. I was hyped, man.
I mean, yeah, like I even sit at home and I'll watch my fights from like the first time that I started fighting. I'm like, wow, from to where I am now and to even see where I've came over since my last fight. It's just crazy to watch myself evolve into this, mixed martial artist and to be able to do all these things every single day. It's awesome.
It's only going up, too.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
So I guess tell us about how you fit into 501 Fight Club. Where do you fit in? Like, when did you
Yeah, that's
link
really
up with them? Like,
that's what I was wondering.
because I
more
know
about.
you are from that area, but you're not like from the same city. You guys didn't go to you and Jay didn't go to the same high school kind of thing. So tell me about your and Jaden's friendship, and then like tell me about how that all kind of happened. When
For sure.
tell me the timeline of how it all.
For sure. It's been about 3 years that I've been going to 501, which was well known as BB Martial Arts. But I actually started training with Master Webb when I was about 7 or 8 years old. He had a little spot over by the KFC in BB, which is not there anymore. Rest in peace. But love
The
that
old
Kentucky
dojo.
Fried Chicken, man.
Oh, he
What
said
a-
the Kentucky
what
Fried
a-
Chicken was
what a
gone.
reward.
Hey, maybe Derek Lewis, I'm telling you, KFC, shout me out for real. But yeah, so I trained with Master Webb there. I was thinking he was doing karate there, and I did that for a little while, and really I just fell out of it. But I continued to do wrestling and stuff through high school, and we was always doing backyard boxing. And everybody wanted to fight. As soon as we got off the school bus, it was time to fight,
Yeah.
And a lot of people knew me in high school for that too. So I'm fighting all the time.
It's kind of funny how like you have precursors in your life and you don't really know where you're going. Because like when I was in high school, that was a huge thing. And like I said, you were the guy, like you're a fighter now. You were always like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's throw it in the backyard. And I was always the guy that's like, I want to be there and film,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
but I don't want to fight
Can we-
anybody.
let's make sure that we get this captured for the days later.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm
The
trying to
next
go,
generation.
but obviously we're cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Win, lose, or draw, you're both great guys.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Go
So-
for the throat.
Anyways,
Knock him out, bro.
going into it. So back to the 501
yeah.
and how I got there. It actually started, like I said, that little boxing gym. There was a great boxing coach there, and the MMA coach was the guy that I knocked out. But the boxing coach was an older man, Coach Dean, and he was also a pastor. He's a really good guy and a really intelligent coach. And Gary was actually training there when I went there, and he always told me about, hey, you need to come to BB Martial Arts. Like, if you want to, keep going to the cage, and you need to start training jiu-jitsu again,
Yeah.
So, and I had been training jiu-jitsu for a long time in the past, but getting back into it started at BB Martial Arts, and that's kind of like how me and Jaden fell into things. Like, we immediately had that connection. He's like a little brother to me, so it's everything that we do. So it's like, I want to be a leader, just like Jaden wants to be a leader and Gary wants to be a leader. I try to be that leader for everybody in the gym, and try to push and motivate everybody. If they're not feeling like training that day, I'm like, come on guys, let's push through. Or if they're having those doubts or whatever, like, we want everybody to be a part of that family. So and I feel like I've been to a lot of different gyms all around the United States and trained. So, like, and to feel this type of environment at 501 Fight Club, it's like, it's like a little family. Everybody loves each other there, and I don't really feel that personal connection at a lot of other gyms that I've been to, and that just may be because I'm just going there to train for that day or two or whatever. But that's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Right on.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, so for those who don't know, explain who Gary is, because we're going to have him on.
Gary is my striking coach. He's been holding mitts for me for about the past 3.5 years. Also, he's like my best friend. He works with me. He picks me up and takes me to class. He's basically like my life coach. During my fight camps, I'm like, hey, Gary, I don't need to do this, okay? So don't let me do that. And then I can always count on Gary to make sure I don't do it. And, ever since I met Gary, I told him, I'm like, I'm the type of person that has to be riled up and, like, needs that motivation. You know what I'm saying? I'm very good at when it comes to motivating other people, but when it comes to motivating myself, I'm a little bit weaker in that subject.
That push.
So when my boys get behind me and they're hyping me up, I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
And how long have you known Gary for? It's just 3 years?
Yes, sir. So it's going on 4 years now.
Okay.
So, I mean, but we hadn't skipped a beat. I mean, he's basically a part of my family. Like I said, this gym is a part of my family.
And man, that's all it takes is you kind of. I had to learn to self-motivate myself. You know what I mean? These guys I started believing in myself more, and I kind of had more self-confidence. And these guys were just kind of pushing us to do my thing, and then that's how we started the podcast. And now we're running a whole production company. You know what I mean? It's kind of.
Well, it's one of those things.
And then it's taken off.
It doesn't take that long to. You know what I mean? For you to know, like, these are the people I should be around.
For sure.
3 years, 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. There's positive people and there's negative people, and you got to cut
For sure.
a lot of that shit out.
Yeah, like me and Brenner have been friends almost a year now. I feel like it's going on a year because, the podcast is going on 3 months. We've been planning it out about 6, and we knew each other for 3, 4 before that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? We had been newly friends when it kind of started, but, like, we always had such good chemistry.
So same thing with
like,
Max, too, because I met Max, like, right around the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, that's how I am when I try to connect with people. Like, if I can't come to you with a situation and talk to you about it, then it's probably not that great of a connection. But, like, Gary and Jaden, I can come to them with any situation and talk to them about it, and, they're going to give me a healthy response, whether it's going to hurt my feelings or not, because that's what, it's what it's like, to be a good friend.
Yeah. Well,
sure.
and to have positive people around you doesn't always mean that they're going to have positive things to say, and that's good.
Exactly.
To have those people around. You don't want yes men in your corner all the time. That you can't have that, especially with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a group chat. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like, we're always.
We basically just talk shit to
Oh,
each
yeah,
other.
we talk a lot of shit.
We talk
like,
a lot
know.
of shit, but if there's ever anybody in the group that's having like a doubt about something, it goes right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And then we all tell each other either yay or nay.
I mean, you can get hurt doing this stuff,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if your cornerman allows you to go in that cage unprepared, then they're ultimately setting you up for failure.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing.
And it's like, and those are also the guys that are giving you advice. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
A lot of people don't
Literally
understand,
in your corner.
A lot of fighters do not take coaching advice no matter what. It's like they just don't hear it. But, like, you know what I mean? If you listen to your coach, that can, you know what I mean? They give you the wrong advice, man. That can get you fucked up.
Yeah, and if you don't trust your coach like a life coach, then there's probably a problem.
And it's like you got to know You got to know someone to know. You know what I mean? Like, he has to know you to tell you what to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he sees something, he knows how you're gonna react to.
Yeah.
He just got you got to have that
He knows
relationship.
the right things to say at the right time.
Yeah, you got to have that right rapport. So the fact you guys have known each other, you guys are like a team, solid. Obviously, it's working. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
obviously, dude. I just wanted to talk about when you like the first round when you dropped Tori in the first round. I thought it was over.
Yeah.
Thought it was done.
Man, I feel like it happens a lot, but I like the next time I knock somebody out, I'm gonna try not to,
Just walk off.
like every time I knock somebody out, I'm like, I gotta jump on top of them and give them about 20 more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want it to be undoubtedly
It's done. Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah,
it to be
yeah.
undoubtedly done
There's no
in
dispute.
everybody's eyes. You know what I'm saying? I want this guy to tap, or I want the ref to stop it, but next time I knock somebody out, I want it to be walk off. Like, I'm just gonna walk off like this dude is asleep. No, undoubtedly, but I feel like I wake up a lot of people with my punches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like you knock them out, then that first punch
Dude.
wakes them
Yeah.
up, and then they're defending themselves.
Like
and
the
then-
one where you jumped on top of Tori like in that second round when you dropped him the second time, dude. Like we were talking yesterday, I was like, man, and it clipped him. But I was like, dude, if you had landed that shit, I
Oh, it
was
would
like,
have been done.
he wasn't asleep when he dropped him. But I was like, dude, if that shit had landed, he jumped and threw like a hard
Yeah.
bro. If it clipped him, but dude, if it had landed, it would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
traumatic.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, somebody call this person.
Dude, it's crazy watching
We
these
need a
fights.
bed.
There was some fights. I'm not gonna name any names, but they were kind of boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always gonna be those boring fights, but in the fighter's eyes when they're in that cage, they're not thinking about, oh, am I
What
throwing
everybody
enough?
else is.
Am
yeah.
I throwing enough punches? Am I doing enough takedowns? Like they're in there thinking, okay, I gotta win this fight, and if they're gonna fight
Let's just
technical,
finish it.
if they're gonna fight technical, they're gonna fight technical. If they want to fight for the knockout, they're gonna fight for the knockout. If they want to go for a takedown, they're gonna go for a takedown. They're not really thinking about, oh, this is a show. I need to do as much action as I can. No, we have a game plan. We're gonna take this 3 rounds, or we're gonna try to finish them in the first round. We're gonna try to submit them in the second. There's a game plan to everything in this fight and stuff.
So you have a game plan?
And most of the time, you have to have a game plan.
Yeah.
I recently I used to stalk my fighters that are my opponents. I watch their videos every single day, every day. I'd learn their consistencies. I would actually try to take up on that myself, but I realized that's not really a good thing to do for me as a fighter. So I passed that on to Gary. I was like, okay, I want you to watch their videos a few times and learn the stuff that you see. That way, it's not all in my head, and then I'm not thinking about.
You need to focus on you.
Yeah. Because everybody, we're still early in our careers, so some fighters are still finding themselves. I feel like if you watch my fights, every single fight is different. I'm not very consistent. I changed it up a lot because I'm still evolving as a fighter.
Like I said, man, it was one of the things I noticed about you, though. I guess I didn't really think of you having a game plan because, like I said, I think game plan. I'm thinking long game, and you just drop people so quick that it's I'm like, this guy don't got a game plan. You know what I mean? He's
and I
out there
mean-
just fucking dropping people.
So, you're saying how you're trying to find yourself in, with fighting styles. What do you think has been something that you've really had to work on that you've gotten better at? You know what I mean? I mean, is it? I know that you said that you constantly work on your head movement. Was that something that you were not very good at first that you had to work on, or?
To be honest, I've always been an athlete. In high school, I was only 165 pounds and stuff like that. So I'm new to the heavyweight game.
Uh-huh.
So I still run miles.
You're like a new heavyweight.
Well, I mean,
You just-
I
you
guess
gained weight and started
the
knocking people the fuck
4
out.
years, it's been 4 years or 5 years since I've been out of high school. So
Jesus Christ! Imagine this dude dropped down to welterweight and started
I'm
just
telling
fucking
you.
Yeah.
knocking
Yeah.
people's fucking teeth out.
that would be,
Slimming down.
of course.
He hits middleweight,
I can see myself at 185, maybe
suplexing people, beating the fuck out of people.
5-6 years from now. That would be cool.
Oh.
That would be awesome if I could get down there. But I mean, realistically, 205, 265 is where I'll be at.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Dude, imagine you at light heavyweight, benching 375.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I'm
Ridiculous.
I'm very underestimated by a lot of fighters. I don't know why. I mean, most of these fighters don't even know me.
They're not watching your fights, if that's the case. I
They've
promise
never
you.
took the time
Yeah.
to train with me,
Yeah.
or I guess they're just big-headed because, I'm skilled,
Yeah. That blows me away. I'm like, dude, I watch fights. I'm like, they're not watching the same fights as me because I'm.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I see a lot of fights with men.
Intimidating.
Guys are throwing wild, dude, and you're just like moving your head and just fucking landing shots.
Oh
man.
yeah, I work hard. I guarantee you. And I spar with heavyweights, and I spar with a lot of lighter weighing guys. You know, for that reason alone is I got to be able to work my movement, and 2, I got to be able to take hits, and I got to be able to move, hit little moving targets.
Like I said, I bet if you spar with Jaden, I bet it's a lot easier to track down somebody who's a 260. You know what I mean?
Do you do that a lot? Do you spar with Jaden?
Oh yeah, me and Jaden, dude, we have a really good connection when we spar. Like I'm so good with sparring with the little guys. I've sparred with girls. Like I'm so good. Like I just feel like I can range and on how hard I hit and stuff like that. And me and Jaden, like, we'll find ourselves when we're sparring, like we're doing the same stuff because our hands are like we're on such a good level. It's like our movement is almost identical. So, and I just love letting Jaden beat me up, too. So
I bet it's good for him, too, because when he's, like, throwing punches against you, you know what I mean? It's just fighting a heavyweight. It's like, I bet it's way easy fighting, like, 125ers. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, Jaden's fast, and, he hits hard for a 125er. I promise you that. I've been hit by every single weight class. I've been hit by females from 115 all the way to heavyweights up to 300 pounds.
Yeah. I was talking to I was contemplating the idea of letting, like, we're talking to you guys about doing the we'll let you guys slam us and like do a bunch of crazy shit. I was considering letting one of you guys punch me, and then I was like,
just a gut shot.
Thinking right
I
in the
don't
face.
want that. Yeah, I want to get hit in the face.
Right in the fucking jaw.
Obviously, you don't.
But, yeah,
I can see it on your face right now. You don't.
I don't want him to.
He's like, no, I want to get punched in the face. Like,
I might offer $100 to anybody who wants to let you punch him in the face.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that.
I would offer $100 to anybody who would let you punch him in the face. I'd do that.
Hey, yeah.
And then I might
let
Jaden punch me in the face. And
Avery these hands
We'll
Wilson.
see how my bills are.
I feel like Jaden can still knock me out too, but I feel like you're for sure gonna knock me out.
Yeah, like
open hand slap.
I've been punched by guys Jaden's size before.
Like across the table.
Jaden's gonna remember this later, and he's gonna be like, "All right, I'm gonna fucking let this guy have it."
If I don't get to punch somebody in the face, I'm gonna be upset.
He said, "How many times can you say 125?" All right, moving on. Sorry.
Hood rat.
Using Jaden as a projectile.
Man, yeah.
That would be crazy if there was tag team MMA and you guys were like a tag team. That would be insane. Holy shit.
He jumps up from the top of the cage.
Dude, I'm telling you, like,
he just like jumps up on Avery's shoulder, then hops on top of the cage.
Hell yeah.
That's it. He's like, who's up?
Yeah, me and Jaden, man, we're gonna take off, and like I like that we're taking off around the same time. It's like we got
that's got to be super cool.
Yeah, we got about the same record. I mean, we're fighting at about the same pace. Like, I really would not be surprised at all to see us go pro around the same time or start reaching the UFC around the same time because we're both driven and we drive on each other. So it's like just push back and forth as long as we're motivating each other and in the gym training. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be all we need.
And there's so much talent coming out of here right now. And it's like we're starting to get recognition. And it's on music and on like any kind of level.
Yeah.
We got people in the UFC now. They're opening up doors, man. We got a girl. Isn't that Kendall girl?
Yeah,
she signed to Bellator.
Kendall the Crocodile Hollowell.
Which one did she sign to Bellator or did she sign to UFC? Did she sign?
No, she has not signed yet. She's still amateur, but she's a badass girl.
Maybe it was somebody else. I thought
she's
it was
fighting.
her.
She's fighting February 29th with me at the Benton Convention Center. Yeah,
oh,
she's
dude, I'm gonna reach out to her. Then I'd love to talk to her. That'd be awesome.
Dope.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to her. Nathan Kirby brought her up to me like specifically and was like, "Yo."
Yeah, y'all definitely need to get her on the show.
Yeah. I heard she was like for real.
Dude, she's so awesome.
Hell yeah.
And the amount of people that were like, "We fucking believe in you, yo."
Yes.
It blew me away because like you see stuff like that, but everybody was like, "Yo, you can do this."
She hits so hard.
So yeah, I'd love to talk to her.
Yeah.
That's cool. I guess it was somebody else. I thought there was a girl that signed to some league, a bigger league, and I thought it was her, but I guess.
Hey, she will be though. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Come the beginning of
time.
next year, you're gonna be able to see her. She's definitely a type of girl that I would see in the UFC eventually.
Absolutely awesome, dude. Like I said, I heard she's a hell of a fighter. They call it the Crocodile.
Look forward to seeing
The Crocodile.
The Crocodile.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
That's dope.
Such good nicknames.
Dude,
in this
that's
league,
my
bro.
favorite
That's
part.
Like, I feel like such a nerd every time that I say it, but I'm like, man, these guys' fucking nicknames are dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cyclops.
Yeah.
Dog,
my
that's
God,
my
dude.
favorite.
Shout out to Caleb McCulley. He owns that shit too.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought someone was like making fun of him when I heard that nickname, and I was like, damn, that's really
In the
messed up.
studio, yeah. No, I didn't. I mean, you
Yeah.
know me. I don't think it's
And
messed
then I
up. But
asked
was
him
like,
about
all
it,
right.
and-
I was like, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
And then they shouted it over the fucking speaker, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, absolutely. Like,
So, shout out your sponsors, my guy.
yeah.
Browsfield Siding, CTI Services for all your dirt hauling, Hudlin Construction, Eric's Pool Service, All Points Transport, Cabot South Sonic and Cabot, Mad Tatter, Tyler Watkins, H&C Diesel, Andrew Reynolds Massage Therapy, MW Construction, Mark Williams, and also big shout out special to Devin Brown.
There you go.
Yeah,
Right on.
Hell yeah.
You got a
So-
good amount of sponsors.
That's a pretty good
Yeah.
list.
Just real quick to close out, what kind of like dietary plan and like what kind of training and what kind of camp do you have? Like, what do you normally do when you're getting ready?
You
for a
got to
fight?
be fucking just devouring food, bro.
Don't you say
So-
didn't you say you
Okay,
gain
so,
weight?
so a lot of people say this good. You know, as amateur fighters, we have times that we go to, gyms like when I went to Jackson Wink and trained with, the big gym with Holly Holm and John Jones and all of them. But the main thing is, we don't really have fight camps. We really are try to stay ready. We always say, stay ready, don't get ready. Because if that big opportunity calls you, what are you going to say? Oh,
I
I'm
haven't been
sorry,
training.
I've got to train and have a fight camp for a month. I can't accept that contract to the UFC on a 1 week term. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't try to do that. We're trying to stay ready every day. We're in the gym trying to train 5, 6, 7 days a week.
Hell
As much as our bodies will allow.
Mhm.
So
You never know when your opportunity's gonna come.
exactly.
Or how many you're gonna
what's your
get.
diet looking like?
So I'm actually working with a nutritionist out of Cabot now. We're supposed to meet up tomorrow. Basically, I've always stayed around the same diet plan that I created with just created over the time of experience of my body and my workout plan and stuff like that. But main thing is just always focus on my cardio, and as long as I have enough carbs to make sure that I have plenty of energy. That's just the main thing. But for the most part, being a heavyweight, that's a good thing. Being able to eat whatever you want. But
That's what I'm saying. As a heavyweight, you're fighting. I was saying, is it's guys who fight closer to their like walking around weight. It's a lot easier because there are guys who weigh 180 and they'll cut to 135 or cut to 140. Like
yeah,
and that's
and
just
then you
not
got to
healthy.
change
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, your
You know what I
body's
mean?
got to adjust
When
to that. Yeah.
And you're either like you either have to gain 10 pounds or cut 10. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it gives you, and when you got to cut 10 pounds in 3-4 weeks, that's
Well, I
nothing.
mean, if
Well,
you
and then
know
you
what I mean?
lose muscle that way. Your body is used to, like when your body's used to
Yeah.
carrying around 180 pounds, and then you cut 50 pounds off that, you're losing muscle that way too.
Well, if you're going to 265, I mean, if you're fighting for a 265 belt, you shouldn't be walking around at 220, 215 trying to fight somebody weighing 265. I mean, you should make the move down to light heavyweight, or make your mind up if you're in between. It's true heavy for a reason, because they were at 265 or cutting down to 265. For sure. I mean, there is a lot of up and coming UFC fighters that are out of the heavy, that are in the heavyweight division, and they're gonna be the Dana White Contender Series. That would be fun to be on, and then Tough, that'd be fun to be on. Like in the future, I'm just looking forward to the, to be able to be in that position. I'm really waiting for Dana White, because he goes and does his looking for a fight, at the promotion. So I mean, I don't see why the UFC wouldn't come to Arkansas with all these Arkansas UFC fighters that are being produced. Eventually they're going to have to come to Arkansas and check us out and see what we're actually doing.
There's established events like Pyramids on their Pyramid 15. Like
Pyramid,
that's a huge thing.
I mean,
Pyramid
in my opinion, I've been to most of the promotions in Arkansas and watched all the fights and, had a good time there. And I feel like Pyramid does a really good job of keeping everything overall controlled. They may not do one thing better than the other, but the thing that they do have is consistency of everything.
every aspect.
Yeah, every aspect. And
You know what you're getting.
yeah, they keep it together. You know what I mean?
like big shout out to Peak. Nothing against them, but like they just got the ball rolling. They did Peak 4. You know what I mean? And Pyramid's on 15, and that's like 4 times. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
I didn't either.
The very first, or the first or second fight was one of our fighters, and he actually just got back from Afghanistan not even 6 months ago.
Kevin Miller.
Yeah, Kevin Minor.
Minor. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine, buddy. And yeah, it's that's just like that respect thing. It's a respect to the sport. It's a respect to our country. So that's something that should definitely take the time.
And yeah, shout out to him. He had a rough fight. He just got caught with one.
Yeah, and he just didn't even get past those jitters. We train with him every single day. That dude is the type of guy he's in the gym every single day, not missing a day, begging for more days to train. Yeah. So it really is I guarantee you he's gonna come out his next fight and he's gonna showcase his skills.
I really liked him. He's a super nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's very humble too.
Yeah. Really cool guy. And like I said, I added him on Facebook, and then that's when I saw that he was. That's when I saw that he was like in the military and stuff. And like I said, man, I hated it for him. And you could tell that he didn't get knocked out. You know what I mean? He just got caught.
Yeah.
And when you're taking defenseless punches, you know what I mean?
It just happens.
I agree in the sense of like amateurs. I don't think you should like. I think Rocky does a really good job.
Oh, Rocky is the best in the business, guaranteed, 100%.
Big shout out to him. How do you say his last name?
Rocky Demir.
Demir. I've been saying it correctly.
Hey, listen, I told him that y'all need to get him on here. That man has so many guns. He can talk about some cool stuff.
Man, does he have guns?
That dude's awesome.
Yeah, I just knew,
cool
like I said, I don't know if I told you guys, I was watching some random fight in like Nashville, some Nashville promotion, and I'm just like watching it because it was on that site that I have, and I was just watching fights, and then all of a sudden it's like this dude runs across the screen. I was like, oh my God, it's Rocky. I was like, he's in Nashville reffing a fight. Like, it just blew me away. But yeah, he said he would come on. We're gonna have to get a hold of him.
Yeah, Rocky's awesome.
I
gotta get him in here.
Yeah. But because I just don't think you should take that much damage. I don't think you should,
I mean, especially as an amateur. I mean, if they're pro, and they say, hey, let me bang. If as long as that thumbs up. I mean, even as an amateur, if that thumbs up, and then you honestly feel like they're in a safe position, that's how it is. Because I guarantee you, if I'm getting pounded, my thumb's gonna be up while I'm getting pounded, just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I never noticed that before. I have to look for that.
That's kind of because
I've never seen you getting hit before, so.
Oh, for sure.
I've never seen you on the ground like that. That's never happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's just the way I think, though. You gotta think if you gotta work those uncomfortable positions, and we work that all the time, uncomfortables.
Yeah, you get up high enough, it's gonna happen one day.
Yeah.
You got to be good at what you're good at, but you got to work on what you're bad at too.
Exactly. I'm ready to showcase my ground game, so.
So shout out your fight. We're running a little long. We're running a lot long, but we'll cut it down to a whole thing. So shout out your upcoming fight, my guy, February 29th.
Yes, February 29th. It's going to be at the Benton Convention Center or Benton Event Center, one of those. So, that's with Pyramid, and it's going to be an awesome fight. I'm fighting Brandon Miedemeyer. I'm pretty sure he's 4-0. He's a heavyweight. So, I'm actually really, really, really looking forward to this fight.
Hell yeah.
So are we, dude.
Yeah, we are too, trust me.
There's so many people ready for this fight. I mean, it just gets my adrenaline pumping thinking about it.
We are ready for this fight.
Yeah, I'm super
pumped. He fought a dude to kind of be like the contender to fight me and, win all 3 rounds, and I feel like he should have finished it a lot earlier. So, I know he's gonna be seeing this. He's gonna be watching it like, oh, what's he saying about me? You know what I mean? And I'm a really humble fighter, and I'm not the type of guy that's gonna be talking crap or anything. I'm not gonna be on Facebook starting Twitter wars or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely.
We've seen that.
OSHA Johnson, shout out.
Oh, you had one too?
Yeah,
we just saw some shit recently.
Okay. OSHA Johnson, I don't know what his deal is, man. He just wants to get on there. He's trying to get his one more light, like shot in the light, but he needs to get in there and actually take this stuff seriously, get in there and win a fight. I mean, dude is very skilled, and he has what it takes to be one of the best, but he just, doesn't put forth the effort. And, and
I feel you work for this.
Exactly, and I think he has a fight in March, so let's I hope he does good, and let's see. But, who knows?
Well, yeah, shout out. Like I said, you're a super nice guy, but that's one thing you can definitely tell when you show up to the cage. It is what it is. It is what it is.
It's definitely all
when the cage locks up. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm serious. Like, I don't know what comes over me. I can't even describe the feeling. But before I walk out to that cage, and then from the time I enter that cage, I swear it's like I'm like taken over by some kind of demon of possession or something.
And I was gonna point out specifically right after you got done saying this, before we started saying that, I was gonna say that the one thing I noticed is that like you have like no emotion on your face. Like a lot of guys are like making faces or like doing stuff. Like there's no emotion on your face.
Yeah.
Like even when you were like jumping around, like flexing on that dude, like shit, like dancing.
Yeah.
There's like no emotion in your face. You're just like like slow and steady, moving, dodging punches, throwing. You have like no emotion.
Yeah,
You're just
like I'm not gonna feed into all that talking in the cage stuff and all that talking stuff. You know, people try that and they try to get in your head and stuff like that. Like, you know, that doesn't antagonize me. It doesn't make me think that you're gonna beat me or anything like that. You know, to me, if you're talking to me, that means you're not focused on the fight. Yeah. So just keep talking to me and then just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you're gonna get your ass knocked out.
Yeah, you're gonna get caught slipping.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
One thing I did want to ask before we get last thing, I saw it yesterday because we've been hanging out and stuff like that. We got to spend a lot of time together. Do people test you often? Do people be like, "Hey man, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You got a problem with me, Avery?"
know,
Do people like?
Do they?
Is that happen all the
of course
time?
they do. I don't
That's
know why.
fucking hilarious.
It's like we're in prison or something. They're like, "Oh, let me find the biggest dude in the room and talk crap to him."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, please don't be that guy." And like,
You're just trying to have a good fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, shout out to Solo. I mean, it happened to me one time in the club. Like literally, this dude just ran up to me and was like trying to fight me, and then Solo's like, "Dude, do you know who that is?" And then here comes Tory Lemons right behind him. He's like, "Oh, dude, you do not want to do that." And I'm like, and I'm not even that type of guy. I'm so nice and I'm so humble. I'll be your best friend.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
for real.
Really cool.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, I don't ever know why people would test me. You know, so
Because people are fucking assholes.
Yeah, people
That's
are
like,
Just a little background. We were in the car yesterday, and there was like 2 cars behind us. There was 2 cars coming down. We were in the parking garage, and this car is like, their trunk is like parallel with the parking spot, and they decide that they're gonna back up in the middle of the parking garage and get in this parking spot. And like, there's no way for us to back up, and there's no way for the people in front of them to back up because it's just so many cars. And this guy starts talking mad shit to us. Like mad shit, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was texting them. I was like, "Yo, it's finna get fucking crazy."
Yeah. Y'all motherfuckers, stay tuned.
It was the most gangster shit. Avery was like, "Is this guy got a fucking problem?" And Jaden just rolled the window down real slow. I was like,
yeah,
shit.
shout out. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, you know, I'm not trying to be stupid or anything like that. But come on, man. Like, there's no reason to talk to somebody like that. Like, you know,
He stayed
have a
in his
nice
car.
day.
I was
Have
just
a nice
like,
day.
I was telling them, I was like, man, that's just a terrible timing.
Yeah,
I was
what
like, we
a
got
bad
2
idea.
champions and their striking coach in the car. I was like, this
Listen,
is-
and that shit happens every day. These
And I got
people
the
open up
camera.
their mouths, and it's the wrong time.
Oh yeah, and it's like, you know, we were taking pictures in downtown Hot Springs. That dude walked by and he's like, "Oh, where did you buy that at?" You know what I mean? Like you're taking pictures with the belt, and like, you know, people just talk and they don't even realize what's coming out of their
Let me hit you
mouth.
with this
Who the fuck you
motherfucker. I
are.
promise you, you'll know it's real. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, I dropped like 5 motherfuckers to earn this. Like, I knocked some people the fuck out until I got this
Exactly.
bad boy. This was given to me.
Yeah, it was passed down from era to era.
Yeah. Well, man, big shout out. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
I appreciate
Been a
y'all having me
pleasure,
for
man.
real,
Absolutely.
man.
Love having
Thank
you
you for
on.
coming down. And
had a
fucking,
great time with you, man.
Yeah, hanging out, partying with us.
Y'all shout out.
Getting
Look
down.
forward to you know, doing that embedded video too.
Oh, dude,
shout
yeah,
out.
we're gonna come do their promo for
Yeah, he's gonna punch
501
Nate in
and
the
stuff
face
like
for
that.
$100.
Yeah, we're gonna come do that, and then we're gonna cover for your fight. You got a fight coming up February 29th at Benton Event Center, 7 o'clock. Tickets are $30 a piece, if I'm not mistaken. That's what Pyramid's going price is.
Pretty sure, and then $50 for VIP. I got those on hand at all times. I'll also have fight shirts for $20 a piece. But I promise
we'll get
you,
one of those. We want one of
I
those.
got y'all.
Yeah,
but
we
I
want one
promise
of
you, those things are gonna go out fast. So y'all hit me up.
We'll take 4. We'll take 1 for each of us, and we might take 5. We might take 1 for the
One to
studio,
hang
and
up.
1 for my
Nice.
baby mama.
Heck
Heck yeah, that's
we'll
for
probably do
sure.
that.
So, you know, I just want to say I appreciate everybody supporting me, following me at home. You know, following me, coming to my fights, and you know, all my sponsors, anybody that's kicked back for me. You know, help me with gloves or help me with any kind of fees. You know, I appreciate my gym, and I appreciate all my coaches, Jaden and Gary, Master Webb, and everybody that helps me train for my fights, Chuck and Payne. You know, y'all, you know, without y'all, it would be hard for me to, you know, keep everything going. So, you know, I appreciate that.
Absolutely, my guy. Well, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
out.
thank you again, man.
We can't wait for the fights, man. We'll be there ringside the whole time.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't, depending on when the Jaden Webb interview drops, depending on which one we drop first, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. If it hasn't dropped, be on the lookout for it. Go
ready.
check out our fucking YouTube. We just broke 2,250 views earlier. We're probably over 2,300 now. You guys just keep pumping that up. Thank you guys so
over and
much.
over again.
Big shout out to the Cersei BB community, everybody out there, dude.
Yeah.
Mad love is coming. You guys have been driving up views on the fucking.
And for those of you in Hot Springs that showed the champs love, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
man.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank everybody, man. Thank everybody involved. You guys stay tuned for more in the future. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everybody has a good night.
These fucking cheap